Honestly, this is the first Hannibal movie that I can finally see why people love this character. Though I still don't really care for the movie. I think it just takes too long to get anywhere. I had stopped when there was about an hour and 5 minutes left, and then finished it 2 days later. It's just, I don't know, I didn't really care for it. But it's got two amazing scenes. Like, just instantly iconic scene where the one guy, the sexist loser that was fucking with the main character near the, beginning of the movie and in some other scenes, he kind of gets what's coming to him. And it's still, at least me personally, I felt slightly bad for him. His drugged up state, what Hannibal did to him. It's just, it's kind of hard to watch at times, at least to me. Don't get me wrong, I wanted this guy to die, and most likely in a brutal way, because that's what I like in horror movies, but it definitely was strange feeling bad for this terrible character. I didn't feel bad for the pedophile later. Um, I don't know why. Maybe it was the drugged up state making him vulnerable. I don't know. But yeah, it's just an instantly iconic scene. Another really great scene is when Hannibal, it looks like he's gonna chop off the girl cop's hand to escape. I think her name's Christine. She was also in Silence of the Lambs, but played by a different actor. Um, but it turns out he cut off his own hand. We don't actually see the deed happen, but it's pretty clearly implied that he cut off his own hand, because not too long later we see the girl cop go outside and she raises both hands when the cops tell her to. Plus, he has like a sling on when he's on the airplane, but we don't really see that he's missing his hand. Uh, there's a really funny scene with him telling Cordell, a doctor that was been slightly rude to by the pedophile dude Mason throughout the movie. He wasn't the nicest to Cordell, and he even tries to get him involved and have him shoot Hannibal Lecter, which he doesn't really want to get involved. I don't know why. Personally, like, this dude's a fucking serial killer and he eats people. Why wouldn't you shoot him? But, whatever. Um, so, Hannibal Lecter finally speaks up and he's like, hey, Cordell, why don't you just push him in and say it was me? Like, that is just such a fucking awesome scene. They really gave Hannibal Lecter a personality in this movie. Like, I just thought he was kind of boring. He played the role of a scary cannibal well enough, but he just didn't give me that much to work with in Silence of the Lambs, at least in my opinion. But him having more of a personality, more of a motivation, some more scenes in this movie really made up for, his performance in Silence of the Lambs. So it wasn't bad by any means, there just wasn't enough to it, in my opinion. So yeah, the movie ends in a somewhat mean-spirited way, in my opinion, with him bringing his own food on the airplane because he thinks their food is bad, and the kid wanting some, and he fucking feeds the kid human flesh. It's just, come on, man. I was starting to like you. Uh, it's a pretty decent movie. I liked the fact that the pigs were, taught to attack people that were screaming. So, Hannibal obviously isn't scared of very many things. So, obviously, he doesn't get attacked by the pigs. Though the injured guy on the ground does. He gets eaten by the pig. He had got shot by. Her name's not Christine. Her name's Clarice. I don't know how I just remembered that. But Clarice shoots the guy. He's not really screaming in pain or anything. He even gets down on the ground when she asked him to. And yeah, he gets eaten by the pigs. Poor guy. He did work for a pedophile, so maybe he deserved it. Maybe he didn't know, though. Maybe he was just a hired guy. But, anyways, I also thought it was dumb that Clarice, even though I am in no way fond of cops in real life, it felt unfair that she was blamed for what happened. But if not realistic, she was blamed for a man's actions. Uh, but she never once tries to pin it on him, which good for her. She never tries to take the easy way out and go, he called the shots, he, started it. But I would be a bit selfish in that situation, and I'd make the dead guy take the blame. A few people died there, not just him. She could have just said it wasn't the other cop's faults, it was solely his. And I'm sure more people would have believed her if she was just signaling out one guy instead of all the cops. But she does what she has to do, and she shoots the girl while she has a carry-on kind of vest thing for a baby. I don't know exactly what they're called. Um, and that gets a lot of public backlash, which you can understand. She killed a mother. I personally don't get, though, the fact that these movies don't focus on Hannibal, because I had never known much about these movies. I had known of Hannibal Lecter's character. Who doesn't? Who knows horror? But I didn't really know anything about these movies going in besides the fact that he was a cannibal. So it's so strange to see in all these movies, besides Hannibal Rising, it's it's fucking a movie based on other killers and stuff. Like, and then Hannibal's just kind of there. Like in the first movie, Hannibal's locked up and they're focusing on another killer. In the second movie, Hannibal's locked up and they're focusing on another killer. And in this movie, it's because of how the Silence of the Lambs ended, and he escaped jail, but he's still not doing that much. Um, Patsy was a fucking asshole. Him killing that poor pickpocket guy, though it wasn't, straight up with his own hands, he knew what he was doing. He had him try to pickpocket from Hannibal and said, when he goes after you, he's gonna grab your wrist. But Hannibal is not gonna grab your wrist. He already knows how careful Hannibal is with fingerprints. He knew what was gonna happen. The guy gets stabbed in a very vital artery, though he implies that Hannibal was going for the balls. Maybe Hannibal just really hates thieves. I mean, it says he hates rude people, and he considers being rude an offense. Like, he'll eat you for being rude. So, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised, but at the same time, it's a bit strange that he was going to go straight for the balls just because this guy was a pickpocket. Uh, but Patsy, the little asshole, removes his hand so he bleeds out. He doesn't help him get medical attention. He removes his hand. The guy tells him not to. He tells him not to, but Patsy does it anyway. It's pretty obvious that Patsy wanted this guy dead to cover up his own tracks and get the money. The reward money for Hannibal, that is, which is $3 million. And then he just washes his hands off in like a public fountain and in front of people, getting the blood off his hands, but I guess nobody saw. He ends up getting what comes to him, and one of the only other good kills in the movie. Because I really like the kill with the sexist dude in the brain. It's fucking awesome. And this kill's pretty good too. I mean, there's a throat slit that didn't look too bad, but most of the kills in this movie were just kind of anticlimactic. Even the pig's kills didn't look bad, but they just weren't scary enough or brutal enough to me. But yeah, that is Hannibal Lecter 2001. I'm going to look up if Red Dragon is on anything, and if it is, I might be reviewing it soon. Who knows? I might even watch the TV show.